Thank you for tuning into the Faceless Podcast. I go by the name of Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps, but feel free to call me what you want. As long as it's not I'll most likely respond. Before I carry on, I want to continue to thank people for tuning in, sharing the video to your friends and family, even giving me back your feedback. There's a lot of things that I'm taking on board. And as the channel progresses and develops, there will be better editing. There are a lot more segments that I'm in the works of trying to organize. Eventually, I want to have guests on. I want to diversify as well. It's not always going to be political topics that we're discussing. It's just I've got a few topics that I wanted to kind of get off my chest. Kind of the main inspirations behind me doing what I'm doing. So that's what we're kind of working through at the moment. So I just want to thank everyone for watching. Want to thank everyone for sharing, for getting involved. The feedback has been amazing. So yeah, guys, continue to support, continue to like, share, and subscribe. Send it to people that even you know will disagree with the points. And at least it gives them something to think about. I don't mind getting the comments back saying you don't know what you're talking about or whatever it is. As long as we're getting these conversations going. So yeah, let's go move on to today's topic. This one will be another interesting one. Because I think a lot of you guys will be able to relate to this. And so today, what I want to talk about on this one, and apologies if I sound a bit weird, I'm currently suffering from a toothache as well, so just trying to work through that at the moment, which is it's kind of just God's graces that's keeping me going. But yeah, so onto today's topic that I want to discuss is the appeal to emotion. So what do I mean by that exactly? And why is it relevant to kind of the discussions that we've been having so far? So basically, what I'm tending to find is happening a lot, and again, let me know if you're kind of seeing these trends as well. Is people are appealing to emotion in arguments. So what do I mean by that? So appealing to emotion is when during someone's argument, they try to make you feel a certain way in order to get you inside. So either in order to get you inside, or in order to make you feel in the position that you have. So so again, why do people do this? I've seen a number of reasons, but then the main ones that I've seen. So the first reason is the argument is weak. So based on evidence and facts, as you know, I keep on saying these same things: facts, evidence, consistency. So based on evidence and facts, maybe of their argument, the facts might not be too strong, or you might be dealing with someone who's not as strong at articulating themselves. So instead of letting the facts and the evidence do the talking, what they will do is they will appeal to your emotion. Why again? Another reason why they might be doing it is they know they could get you to support them by appealing to emotion, because emotions are very strong things, guys. Like, we don't want to kind of dance around that and act like they're not important. They're a big part of people's everyday lives. They effectively control some people's lives. So if me, Mr. Point to prove, I've got a point that I need to get across, and I feel like the easiest way might be to appeal to your emotions, to make me feel bad for me, or to make you angry, to get you riled up by some of the points that I'm saying, in order to mobilize you. Sorry, that might be another reason. They'll appeal to emotion. They know that they can kind of get you inside. They know that if they engage on an emotional level as well, like if you get over emotional, you might be likely to forego logic and rationale. And you see this a lot with people. So for example, if someone gets super angry and they'll act out, and then they know that what they're doing is wrong, but then because their emotions are so strong in them, they kind of ignore the rationale and the logic that's telling them, you know what, this might not be the best thing for you to do, and they'll act on their emotions. So all of these things, there are people that know that emotions play such a big part in someone's makeup, and they do know how to identify someone who might be kind of likely to react or likely to act on those emotions and use them people to mobilize and to kind of stand behind their cause. And I mean, some examples of this are just kind of from what I've seen. So again, I've been talking about Black Lives Matter a lot. So what I'm seeing, even the phrase Black Lives Matter, you could disagree with the organization, but then where the appeal to emotion is if I say, okay, cool, I disagree with the organization, then the first thing people say, oh, so you don't care about Black lives? And then I'm gonna go, no, but I do care about Black lives. And even just that little emotional conflict happening there, saying, wait, I do care about Black lives. I do love my Black friends, my Black family. I love myself. I'm Black. But then the logic maybe behind some of the points that you disagree with in the organization, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is a difficult one. And now what that is now war between your rationale and your emotion. And if you're someone who's kind of a little bit more emotionally heightened or emotionally sensitive, you go, you know what, let me forego that rationality. The fact that I disagree with 1, 2, 3, 4 points in how they present their arguments, or maybe how they're going on about things, and let me just stand behind my Black brothers and sisters. That's an appeal to emotion, making you feel like you're not a certain way. You're not Black if you don't support this movement. You're not Black if you don't agree with whatever Mr. Black guy over here said. That's an appeal to emotion. They're trying to make you feel a certain way, so that you defend their side. Another area, another example we might see this is when with some of the isms, we'll call them. So and the kind of new world phobias, Islamophobia, homophobia, and we're talking about that racism, and all these new kind of, I don't want to call them just that kind of social justice things, but all the new isms, and what they'll do is effectively put you in a situation where if you do not agree with me verbatim, you're a bad person. So how does that's again appealing to emotion? It could very well be true. They could very well have all the correct points and say, okay, cool, based on the evidence, if you're a moral person, or if we've got the same moral ideas, then we'll be in agreement. However, what I tend to find is happening, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Again, this is me just kind of trying to articulate my thoughts on the matter. Is they'll tend to tell you that if you disagree with me, you're a bad person. Now, I don't look at myself as a bad person. I'm sure you don't look at yourself as a bad person. So what does that, it causes that moral conflict within yourself, and you're asking yourself, am I a bad person because I disagree? And it takes a certain type of mental fortitude to be able to go, okay, I see what you're doing there. You're trying to appeal to my emotions. You're trying to appeal maybe in the better character in me, for me to maybe feel bad, or feel bad about even disagreeing, and then support your side. The reason I'm addressing this, I see this happening a lot, not just with politics. You see this happen in relationships. You see this happen in friendships, where people will try to use your emotions to manipulate your standpoint. So even just kind of looking at it into a little bit more as well. The reason I thought, let me discuss this today. Let's talk about it. And again, let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm talking utter nonsense, or do you think I've got a point? The reason I want to discuss this is I kind of want to get the message out there. Protect your emotions. Protect your emotion. Do not let people use your emotions against you. You've got the ability to rationalize. You've got the ability to take a step back and think. Do not feel like you're being emotionally pushed into making a snap decision. Because myself, I can only speak for myself. Till this day, in the 26, nearly 27 years of life that God's given me on this earth, I have not made a single correct decision based off emotion. And some of you that are my close friends, I've made a lot of bad decisions. I've made a lot of bad decisions. We've got hurt in the process, but we learn. And I've never made a single correct decision out of emotions. Now you can look at me and tell me, no, Shepherd, I literally make all my decisions based off emotions, and it's always worked for me, and that's fair enough. But from my perspective, when I actually sit back and think about it, I haven't made a single correct decision just purely based off emotions, purely based on I feel this way. I always have to put logic in that. I always have to think things through for me to be able to make those make those good decisions. Now you might be asking me, okay, it's all fine and good. You said this. Yes, I know I'm an emotional person. What do you suggest I do maybe to not be as vulnerable to these people that might want to manipulate you? And again, let me just put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to vilify everyone that appeals to emotion. There's some things where appealing to emotion is needed. For example, when you see the adverts on TV that are asking you to help out a certain charity, they appeal to emotions. They appeal to the humanity in you. Because if it was obviously you could always rationalize we should help people depending on your kind of moral standards and how you look at the world morally. But then they do appeal to emotions, and it does go to helping people. Charities and everything else will go into in a different conversation. But then they appeal to emotions. If you see a homeless person whilst you're walking, how they present themselves, how they are, because I've seen homeless people. Like I'll say this story, and I'm digressing a little bit, so yeah, you have to forgive me. I was on the phone in my local city centre, the shopping centre, and I was on a work call, and this person who's homeless came up to me, can you spare me some change? And I'm like, and I had no money on me, honestly, and he's walking next to me, walking next to me while I'm on the phone, and he said. I said, look, mate, I've got no money, sorry. He's told me, go to the cash point and withdraw some money for me. Immediately, I just looked at him and I almost lost my temper. But this is someone that's in need. This is someone that's actually in need. And I could have gone to the cash point and withdraw some money and given it to him. But the way he approached me, I wasn't a fan of. So you can look at that way. That's someone that's in need, is homeless. Or the other, to kind of tie it around why have I brought that example up, is you might see someone that's actually polite, that's asking. So some people, a lot of homeless people out there, they might be sitting on the floor asking, can you spare me some change? Like they're literally asking, and it breaks my heart to see. And you see people give them help. And by that, they're appealing to emotions because they know that you don't want to see someone suffer. So there are elements in where appealing to emotions can be a net positive. However, when it comes to these topics that we're discussing, do not allow people to manipulate you based off your emotions. Me personally, I think I'm kind of lucky. I've got the ability to kind of take my emotions out of a situation, and me and my little brother argue about this all the time. Maybe I'm a bit too cold, and I could completely take my emotions out of the situations, look at it from a rational perspective, and make my decision based off that. It's something that you can learn, something that I've had to learn to do. Because I hate being guilt tripped. I feel like if you're doing something just off guilt, it takes the value out of what you're doing. That's my personal opinion. So again, back to the point, what are some of your recommendations, Shepherd, on how maybe you could protect yourself against someone that might be trying to attack your emotions, so or manipulate you based off your emotions? The first thing is a phrase that Ben Shapiro says all the time: facts do not care about your feelings. Remember that. Facts do not care about your feelings. So now when someone's arguing with you or giving you a debate or trying to convince you of a point, if you know you're an emotional person or you're emotionally heightened, bear that in mind. So when you go into that conversation, you might feel a certain type of way, but catch yourself and then say, you know what? Deep breath. Let me take a step back to digest this information that I've been given. Rational, and that's as simple as it is. Sometimes it's just taking that step back, rationalizing what you've just heard, and making that decision. Not being allowed to be pushed. Some people would call it hard selling, when they just push you, push you, push you. Do not allow people to push you around, because some of these decisions you might be making could be highly important to your life. So when it comes to that emotional manipulation, do not allow people, regardless. It could be me coming. Do not allow people to use your emotions to manipulate you into taking their points. If their points are valid, they should be able to stand based on the facts, the evidence that they bring, based on good argumentation, based on good dialogue. Do not allow people to use emotional manipulation to gain the upper hand over you. Another thing that I see constantly, when it happens to me a lot, when I'm debating with someone, when I'm discussing with someone, as soon as they realize they've got no further points, they'll attack my character. Again, that's them trying to use my emotions, hoping that I lose my temper to just disband the whole argument. Whereas once you become self-aware and you're aware of that, I start laughing. In my head, I go, you know what? I've got you. And obviously, being raised where we've been raised, if you want to do this cussing each other thing, we could do that as well. We've got the degrees, we've got the diplomas. But I'd rather be civil and continue just debating and discussing so that we both learn. So the whole point of this video is to kind of make you aware that these are tactics that are being used. These are tactics that are being used by people that might want to manipulate you to gain an upper hand in their own viewpoint. And you'd be surprised how many people were out there protesting, how many people have donated to things based just off their emotions being used against them. Whereas when you start to ask them, do you believe in this and this and this that the organization you were supporting endorses, they'll tell you no. But they'll just say, at the moment, at that time, I just felt so emotional. I just felt like this. So do not let people use your emotions against you. Give yourself that chance. Take that step back if you know you're emotionally heightened. And please understand me. I'm not telling everyone be cold. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm just saying be aware, especially if you're emotionally heightened, that people can spot that. They will notice that. They might try to use it against you. And the last thing I want is for any of you to make any decisions that you might regret as a result of someone made you feel a certain type of way emotionally. That could be reacting adversely, or it could be just following something blindly based on emotion. So do take the time out to actually say, you know what, let me take that step back. Let me process what I've just been told, and then we'll take it from there. Emotions are not bad. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, when it comes to these topics, when it comes to discussing and debating and having good argumentation, good discussions, try to stick to the points. Again, so I'll keep this one. This is fairly short. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Do share this to people that you might even think it helps. To if there's someone that you think, you know what, this describes you to a T, share that with them. Share that with them. It might, I don't know, it might spark a light bulb in someone. But yeah, hit that notification button, the notification button, bell. I don't know what I'm talking about now. So hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you're getting these notifications when I'm putting up new videos. Share this to whoever you want to share it with. I look forward to hearing your feedback and your thoughts on this video. Have a blessed day. Again, my name is Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps, but feel free to call me what you want, as long as it's not I. Thank you for tuning into the Faceless Podcast. Have a blessed day.